Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Yeah, so let me start with the sessions today. So first couple of sessions will be a normal intro session of what is what, where it is and how to navigate to that. So as we saw, to log into the Kronos, it's pretty much simple. You just need to go to the browser, just go to the website, type your username and password like how you log into a Facebook or Insta or whatever. It's the same process. Just you need to give the username and password. It will take you to the system. And the home page which we are seeing right now is the home page for the admin. You can see here the administration. For the employees and managers, it will be very much different. They won't see this set of items because they are not supposed to do anything in here. These setups, whatever the configurations or what are the setups which are available within Kronos, is only available for managers. Sorry, it's only available for administrators like us. The Kronos consultants like how we work with the company. So the employees and managers, for them, they will be able to see only this particular screen for the managers. They will be able to only see the screen, and when they click on like asterisk means to select all the employees. Or if you know a specific employee's number, you can type this number here. Use an ID or employee's ID or employee's name. You can type here, it will search you that employee. So how to search an employee means, if you want to see all the employees who are available in the system, you need to give an asterisk and click on search. So let me enlarge the screen. It's only half screen. If you click on here, it will maximize. So this will give you name, ID and what labor account he belongs to. This is a kind of a mandatory item for all the Kronos employees. It identifies employees uniquely with his hierarchy. So each company will follow a different hierarchy level and they will have different departments or sub-departments. But in Kronos, you need to maintain that in the 7 values. There are 7 values like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So in these 7 values, we need to somehow fit in that. You can add additional items. There are a few other fields. You can add it to a different place. But there should be some hierarchy mandated for these 7 values. Like you can say the first value is the company code. Second value is the location. Third is the department. Fourth is the sub-department. Fifth is the manager number. Sixth is his job designation. And seventh is some band something. But these 7 values at least, it should have 3 or 4 values. It's mandatory. And this is what uniquely identifies an employee, apart from the ID. So if it's not all the values are there, that means it's not fulfilled. Or like for an employee, it's not mandatory to have all the values. But at least there should be 1 or 2 values attached to an employee's profile. If you see here, this is like front desk folder for underscore. Like only 3 values are filled up. It depends on the company or the client you're working. They will have a particular hierarchy. Some companies say I need first three values to be filled because we only have that much hierarchy. Like say example. Say this cognizant is having only 3 sub-departments. Say technology HR and maybe technology HR and other ones like cleaning and everything. That comes under other departments. So if they have only 3 departments, they need not to be using everything because the first item they can use the country name. Second item, they can use what state they are from. And third item, they can complete the department. So country, state and department. They don't have any more hierarchy, so they can stay with 3 values. So it depends on the company. Some companies like if you see General Electric or maybe Amazon or like these kind of Walmart, these kind of companies, they will have n number of sub-hierarchies within them. They are in different businesses. They are into different. They even have sub-companies. If you take Amazon, e-commerce is one of its departments. There is a cloud platform which is a different department. They use AWS. That's a different department. So in that case, they might need even additional, like more than 7. So first they need to fit in some values into the 7. And additionally, there are other fields where they can add that to segregate the employees. Okay, so this is the overview of what is the primary labor account. Primary labor account is basically identifying an employee. Okay, he is from the cleaning department. He is from the carpentry. He is from mechanical. He is from the welding department. He is into IT. So how to identify an employee where he belongs? The first place to look in is the primary labor account. Okay. And here we see a few columns. This is like select all rows, which means it will select all the employees. Okay, and there is an option for column selection. Currently, this particular view has only 3 columns, but there are some other views I'll show you later today. So that will have multiple columns. So you can choose what column to see and what column not to see. Okay. And we have filter to filter out based on each column. It's not like you need to, like you're searching by a name or a number, but after searching a particular set of people. You want to filter by something means you can do it. Example say this is where. Like this filter columns will help you. I need to see employees who are only starting with 23. I can just type 20. So, like mostly companies will follow some certain numbers. Number order for even the employees. So, cleaning employees will start from 23. And IT employees, they'll start from 10. So, just you want to see those people, you can just use this filter column and search based on each column. Is this ID like their payroll ID for their paychecks? Employee ID. It's that like here you see only the 4 items because we are in actually a test environment, IMAN. There are also like IDs like this. So it's like people who work, who train like this environment, right? People like you. You will be creating most of the stuffs here. Employees, only few are standard people who are available here. Others are everything are created by us. So these will be a bit of clumsy, but in a standard and working environment they will have. Some companies follow 8 numbers. Some companies will follow 7. So that will become just standard and that will be followed for all the employees. Yeah, like it's in sequence. Yeah. Then again here we have multiple items. Time people, timekeeping, accruals, approval, schedule and absence. So these are of least importance. But first these 5 items. We will go through that. Okay, great. Absence is completely a different model. So what is people means? If you select an employee and click on people, it will take you to the employee's details. Like if you go into your Facebook and click on view profile, what does it show? It shows your name, your profile picture, where you work, your about info, whether you're married or not. So these personality infos is stored under people. This is like a dump even your labor account. As I said, if some companies need more than this, few more hierarchies. Or like whether he's a weekly employee or not, whether he's an hourly employee. Like when he started to work, what is his hire page? All these fields are available under people. Okay, what timekeeping has is this time card. When the employer has punched in and punched out. What date, how many hours the employee has worked. Time card, complete time card details is available here. And if you click on accruals by selecting an employee, accruals is nothing but his leave projections. How much vacation he has, how many sick leave he has, how many 14 holiday balances available as of today or as of some date. So this is all his accrual projections. So it depends on case to case basis. Some policies will have multiple like vacation, sick and so on. So some companies will restrict only to vacation and floating holiday. It depends on the policy or depends on the company. So this particular item will give you, based on his accrual policies, what are the types of leaves he is eligible for and how many hours he has in each bucket. And this approval is only for the manageable purposes. So, rather than going in and selecting one by one employee and approving his time card, if manager is confident that the employee's time card is proper and he no needs to review each and every one separately, he can even select all the employees and click on approver to approve his time card. Or even sometimes he need to remove the approval. He can use the same thing. Only if a time card is approved, the employee will be paid out. And here if you see, there is something called sign off and remove. Sign off. This is a kind of second level of approval, which is done by either the payroll administrator or by the Kronos consultant. Depends on the companies or the clients we work. This is the kind of thing which we'll be doing just before we start the payroll. Apart from the approved time card, it's a second level of approval to ensure that whoever's time card is signed off, that data will flow to the payroll. Example, if we are a weekly employees company, our employees work weekly and we have our payroll on Tuesdays. Okay? So what we will do is this complete week's data will be like this Monday to Sunday. The manager will approve their time cards on Monday because some employees even will work on Sunday, right? So we'll give the time to the manager to do the approval on Monday. And Tuesday we will start our payroll. So just before we start our payroll, sometimes we will ask the managers. There will be specified person from the client side who will be handling the payroll. They will do the sign off and then we can start our payroll processes. Or if it is from our responsibility, we need to go in and select all the employees and sign off for the last pay period. Abhi, can I ask you a question? So basically just a scenario, like obviously, I'm not that technical. I'm new to this. Like I said, I have some payroll experience and all that stuff. So the way I got to know about Kronos, because one of my friends, he works with some company and he uses Kronos. So he works for like a payroll company, right? So what I'm trying to understand, let's say when I ask him like, what do you do daily? Like, what's your daily scenario? So he says like, sometimes like a new client. When they come in, they sort of like say, oh, we need this feature, we need that. And he configures them basically. Like Kronos, and then give them the features, whatever they need. So, and then I guess after that all this data comes, right? But what I'm seeing here, I'm just trying to differentiate. So let's say if I get hired, so the data will be always available there, or I have to create. Or do I have to tell whoever like how to configure, like the HR team or something? Like how would my role would be played? Is it like different for each company? Yeah, it depends on the client entirely. So, like 99% of the time, loading the employees into Kronos will not be your work. There are inbuilt integrations during the initial implementation of Kronos, and even Kronos gives them these integrations by default. Some companies may customize that based on their needs, but loading employees into the application is purely through integrations. We won't be creating them manually because we need some third-party system to be connected to this front end. Kronos is not really an independent system. The multiple systems will be connected to it because the company will be using multiple source systems. They might have SAP. They might have Employee Central. So from there, the hiring or something happens in that system. From there, the data flows to here. I see, okay. Okay, from here it flows to payroll system. And so there will be maybe some servers or database. So which some companies might be using, like integrating with Power BI or something where data flows front and back from here to there. So that work is not part of Kronos configurations. That will be handled by the integration. And that, once it is done, it works anonymously. You don't need to interfere in that. Automatically it will happen. If someone is hired, the employee will be in the system automatically. Okay? There is a kind of integration which runs each day, or some companies might run it twice a day. So that whenever there is an update, just not only loading the application, but also changing their details. Like if an employee is switching from 403 to 404, that detail will be updated in the source system. And from source, it will be created automatically into here. So you might not need to even change that. But for the training purposes, to do the configuration and test something. So I'm going to have a new department soon. So I might need to create that 404 in the system and test it manually. In that case, you need to go on manually change those items to test it out. So that when it goes real time, we are like it's not breaking out and it's working properly. Got it, got it. So the setups and other items, that's the next part we will cover. I'm going to take you through the introduction because without this, setups will not be possible to understand. Right. So once you are having a good grip of like the basic, how the Kronos managers or Kronos employees have an idea on this, only then we can shift to the configuration. So first 3 or 4 sessions will be of this kind. And then we will extend, and after that we will never look back into these items. We will be completely into the setup page. Sure. Okay. So as a Kronos administrator, we don't have like 95% of is within the setup. Only we come here occasionally. Okay, to see whatever we have created here works correctly for the employees. So to the navigation purpose. As I said, you people and timekeeping we have covered. Next, what we have is a Kronos. So this is as I told you. This is about the value projection. And again, here we come. We have the approvals, like how we do the approvals. Next item, which I need to discuss with you, is also a separate module. And we have a separate 3 sessions to go through it. But to give an overview of what this is about the schedule. The employee would be here. So each company will have different set of employees and under different departments. And each department, there might be employees working in different shifts. Right? So to determine which shift an employee is into, we use schedules. So if you click here, you can see add shift, replace shift. So this will say, okay, what is the start time of the employee? What is the end time of the employee? From what time he is taking break and so on. Which shift is basically what? When the time he starts to work and time he completes his work. That particular assignment is done through this place. So creating this shift is a part of setup that we will cover up when we touch the schedule module in setups. Here we will just assign whatever we have created. First shift, second shift, third shift or AM to 6 p.m., 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. to 6 am. So those will be already available here because we will create it through setup. Once that's created, we'll assign it to this particular schedule itself. So first, let's see through the most important item, which is the people, where we can see what personality data is stored. Example, I'll go take this particular. Where is the changing? Just a minute. 1 second. Okay, yeah, can you see my screen now? So I have selected an employee. Click on people. And I'll click on edit. So never click on delete or add. Always go for click on employee and click on edit. Okay. This will give you the complete personality data of an employee. So for all the setups, so whatever we create, this is the place where we can map it out. Okay. The first item we see here is license. Okay. So basically there are 2 licenses which is mandatory. It should be either timekeeper or timekeeper and manager. So if he is a normal employee who swipes in and swipes out or punches in and punches out, for him only the timekeeper license is enough. He just needs to record his time or request for a time off. For that purpose, only timekeeper is enough. But if he is a manager who needs to review his employee's time card, who needs to approve his time card, who needs to approve his leave request or reject his leave request or edit his employee's time card, he needs to have an additional license of workforce manager. Okay. So these are sub part of that. These are like, it's not mandatory to have these items enabled. But these 2 are mandatory. So this is like a sub-item. Under timekeeper, what are the other models he's eligible for? These are like mandatory options. Not all the companies have, but these two is mandatory. This will be available for all the organization. They need to either choose timekeeper or timekeeper and manager. This is to differentiate who is manager and who is just an employee. Okay, then this person's summary will give you base details. When the employee is hired, which actual profile he is in. The actual profile represents the leave profile. What type of leave policy he is in. Like it's an example, ABCFD Harley, full-time Harley. And then the employee status, whether the employee is active or inactive or terminated. Okay, this is just a summary of what all the other fields we have here. So if I go to general information, you can just play around. Like after the session is done, you can just go through each and every item. I'll just cover the important. We have multiple tabs here, so I'll just cover the important items. You can go around and see each item's what field, what value is available. It's just a person data. It's self-understandable. So here I'll give you the basic items, which is fastest general information, which will have his first name, last name, ID and date of birth and hire. And this is again the another place where to denote whether the employee is active, inactive or terminated. If he is active, from which date he is active. If he is inactive, from which date he is inactive. If he is terminated, when he was terminated. These details are available under general information. Then we have the accrues and leave. This is like you will have which. What profile is in. There are multiple leave profiles. Say like California, how many employees California salary? Based on the states or based on the departments. Janitor hourly, sweeper hourly. Based on what leave? How many leaves they're eligible for? What are the leaves they're eligible for? We'll be creating policies in our setups. We need to assign it here. This page is specifically for the assigning purposes. Any doubts on? We have a question like these accruals and leaves will be designed by like the developer for the requirement of the client, right? This page. Not this page, the accrual. Yeah, that's purely based on the clients, what type of leaves they need. Like how much leaves they should have when it should get credited. How much can be debited for a month or for a year? How much can be carried forwarded? All these items are determined by the client's requirement. We will just create it on the site, the setup area. This place is just to assign it, okay? And apart from, usually it happened in the workshop, right? When we are going to implement all these things. Yeah, that is the major area we are going to cover. So we are going to cover mainly on. First, we will cover the pay policies, which has the more number of items. And which is more important to track the interviews. And second item, which is like the second priority, would be the accruals, because if you are very strong with accruals and pay policies, you can track any. Like, these are like the foundation models of Kronos. Without this, no company can perform in Kronos. Okay, so we have to have a good knowledge of any companies, their pay policies, I guess for accruals, right? Yeah. So the thing is, I can frankly say like there are 3 core modules for Kronos, okay? One is pay policy, accrual and integration. Integration is more of like skill integration tool building the how to map the data from one system to another. Okay, so you can have a minimal idea on SQL and CSI. Like I'll give you just how the integration looks, okay? Apart from that, if you are very clear with these accruals and pay policies, you will definitely land at a job. It's like 3 pillars of Kronos. So other modules act upon these. They provide additional support to these. Got it. If a company is using Kronos, it's extensively for these 2 reasons. Like Kronos is actually a time and management tool. So the time calculation, everything is from pay policies. How the employee should be paid. How many hours is regular? How many hours is overtime? How many hours of vacation the employee can take? These all comes under these 2 modules. Got it. And we will also cover the other minor modules like schedules, common setup, which provides support to them like creating shifts and assigning it to them, and how to see it in time card. How to assign schedules. So these are all items. These are like a small part. These modules you can completely understand within 1 or 2 days. Okay, the schedule modules and other stuff. But these are the modules which will take some time and will dedicate more time to this so that we understand each item from the modules. If you take schedules, you can understand it in 1 or 2 days because schedules is pretty much simple. You need to know like you already know what shift means. You already know like what is the start time, what end time means. Okay, you work on that extensively. You daily know like you are in a shift and you have an understanding of what the shift would be, why we use it. We just need to see how we are using it in Kronos. That's it. But these are completely out of topic for you and a new one for you. So, and it has multiple items to cover. It's like a huge list. So the 3 pillars are basically a close pay policies and integration. So if you're clear with these 3, like 70-75% of job opportunity, they're just looking for that purpose. Is that if you're putting a resume stating that you have only 2.5 years of experience in Kronos, 2 years of experience in Kronos, but we have worked in a summer, like if you're putting like I have total experience of 6 years, but only 2 years last 2 years, I'm in Kronos. So the area they would be looking for you to be expertised is pay policies and approach. Because without having an understanding of this, like you can never excel in any other modules, like you will be in some advanced modules of Kronos. Without having this foundation, you can't excel in that. Okay, so we're going to the personality data today. And so we have seen general information and accruals. Now let's see percentages. Since this is just a moment, there is a number of dates. Usually what we will have here is we'll have a hire date when the employee is hired. And then we can have a maybe a seniority date or accrual dates. Like seniority date, in the sense some companies might prepone employee's seniority date. Example, employee hire date is 2022. Why we are having few more dates is, say in a particular company, employee is eligible for promotion only after 5 years. Oh, or employee is eligible for additional vacation balances only after 5 years. But the employee is hired on this year and the company has promised that we will give you additional vacation balances from the date of hire. Example what I'm saying is, as per the company policy, freshers are eligible for 80 hours of vacation. But to hire a particular fresher, they have given a promise that, okay, we will give you 120 hours of vacation because the candidate is good. The company needs to please him. They are saying for you, as an exception, we'll give you 120 hours of vacation, that is additional 40 hours compared to other employees if you join us. So when that particular employee joins, we need to make an exception for it. So as per our standard policy, if he is a fresher, he is eligible for 80. Only after 5 years, he is eligible for 120 hours. In that case, if we change his seniority date to 5 years before, it will automatically load 120 hours for a year. Confused? No, it's basically just to give him extra benefit, right? Yeah, extra benefits. Yeah, it's not just the accruals. There are a few other items also, right? It might be his overtime payment, or it might be his like to cancel out his probation period. Yeah, based on just like, who is this person, right? Who are they hiring? Yeah, on case-to-case basis. It's not generic for everyone. So generic will be the hire date. But if they want to override the hire date and provide some benefits to the employee, they can have any one of these dates created. And they can assign a different date to that. And also this is more useful when we have a rehire. The employee will be working here from 2001. He might have left on 2010. Then he might come back again to this company on 2022. Then he's a rehire, right? But this will load only the data file which will stand to 2001. Right? If you want to take care of the rehire part, we can have one date which states rehire, and in that particular date field, we can map a field which shows the latest hire dates. Yeah, so just for our additional convenience, we have this okay. Person dates. And the next item we need to see here is the additional information. This is nothing. This is like an extra field, okay. So we have here, it says only custom data field, but we can create multiple columns. It's from the setup. So in setup, there is an item called custom data, custom field labels. Okay, so if you see here currently, it will have what we have in this people tab. Only custom data field. This is to this particular. Additional information is like an additional field. So whatever we are unable to fit in within this person dates or within the general information or within what the items, whatever we have in the job assignment, we can always create a column and map some value to it. Example, if you see here, like we don't have any place where the employee we can segregate whether the employee is a weekly or like whether the employee is hourly or whether he's a salary. Okay, in that type we can create one more custom field label stating that it's like weekly or hourly. So now if I refresh my people tab, It's not loading. Few minutes. We'll have another column here stating weekly or hourly. Okay. 1 minute, it's loading. We can't create employees here. Kiran, I didn't get you. Can you tell me what's wrong? We can't create the employees here. We can create it manually also, Kiran, but mostly how it is done is done through integration, where it loads the employee from one place to another because we are not hiring as a part of Kronos. Okay? Whether it is possible or not, just for understanding's sake, I'm just asking. I know that idea will be integrated. You can create a new employee. You just need to be here somewhere, pick someone and click on admin to take you to the clinical pages as an employee. You can put in the values. What is the last name? First name, and you can create an employee. Okay. Or if you want an employee who is similar to this employee or this employee, you can click and duplicate, so that all the fields will be duplicated to him except his name. You can type in the name and ID and save it out. It will save your time, okay? That option is available, but mostly it is single to a system to have a consistency. Usually the data will be populated from other source data. Because, why? Because for one employee, two employees, it's fine. For example, we have around 10,000 employees or 20,000 employees. It's impossible to do manually, right? Yeah, it's difficult. And even if we can load it through a file, the reason we are having a third-party system is, say today I am in a payroll where I am in the hourly role. Okay, tomorrow I am switching to salary. Okay, they need to switch me to salary, okay. So in that case, we cannot ask the HR to go. We cannot give the HR or the manager or the reporting, the higher person, access to Kronos administration. Okay, so that they can go in here and select the employee and say, okay, today you are in this leave policy from 2021. You are in a part-time hourly policy. From 2022, you are moving into full-time hourly, okay. So we cannot say the HR to go and make the changes here. Okay, what we can say is we can give him access to the portal which they are using. It can be a Workday, or it can be a Success Factors, or it can be an Employee Central, where the HRs used to put their data. So that we can give full access to them to that system, and they can put whatever the changes with an effective date, and it will automatically go into that. It avoids confusion because if we give full access to Kronos, they can make any changes or they enter any hours into this Kronos. So changes, everything should be tracked from where it came from, when it has changed, how it has been changed. So to have that consistency, we have this particular feature of loading all the details from some other system, okay? So they load, make changes to the, we are not maintaining any master data kind of data here, right? Yeah. So they're like, only we are showcasing the data from the other sources, and we are just doing the whatever the technicality has been used from the Kronos that we are using here, right? Yeah. And also we can have a calculation also within the integration to load some data based on other fields. Say example, what I'm saying is example, what I can give you. See, here we can say he's a weekly, hourly, based on maybe if he's accrual. If employee's accruals ends with hourly, please mark additional information as hourly or hedge. Okay. So these calculations we can give within the Kronos system. Like within the integration so that it can not just the source field. We can do some calculation from the source data and arrive at some solution. So the reason we have a different system is to have some sync and to know how the data has flown into Kronos and out of Kronos. Because there is no way to track within Kronos if I make this from hedge. Now I'm deleting it. Now I'm making him FT and saving it like only few items we can track here in the history. So other items we cannot track it out, so we need to know who has put in these changes. Right now I am the admin. There are few people who will make these changes, but we need to understand. There might be an issue stating that this employee is not a full-time. Who has put him as a full-time and not as an hourly? We need to know who made that change. Those things are capable of capturing only SAP or like employees etc. where it will tell who made these changes from hourly to full-time or full-time to hourly. When it has been made, whoever has approved that change. Only after the approval, the changes will go to Kronos. Okay. And now you can see here the additional information. As soon as we have created a new setup, there is an option called custom field. As soon as we have added a particular row here, we have that applicable in additional information. So it's more or less to have more convenience. If you want to do more segregation or to have more clarity on what the employees say, as I said, if you go to job assignment, there you will find the primary labor account, which we saw in the quick search button. This primary labor account, this is available under job assignment. Okay. As I have said to you, this primary account is capable of accommodating only 7 values. This primary labor account job is not a mandatory one, but labor account is a mandatory. But this is capable of accommodating only 7 values. So, if you want to put something more than that which is not available in these fields, additional information is the go to place where you can add whatever the column you need, weekly or hourly, whether it's a full-time or a part-time, whether he's a bi-weekly or a weekly, what payroll period he is into. So we can create even hundreds of additional fields and add values to it. And these fields also can be directly mapped in and out through integrations. Because here we have a unique label to that. Custom field label 1, custom field label 2. So if you just give this name and map a value, it will automatically map it. So clear on the additional information. Mark here. Next, we just move into the nearby tab. Still now, we saw the personality data. Now we are going to see job related data. So first item is labor account. I have given you a clear picture of what labor account is. This is the place where we map it to. You see here, I'll just click on search. It will give you this particular test system. We have our labor account in this value. Like the first value is company. The second is region. Third is division. Fourth is facility. Fifth is department. Sixth is cost and center. Seventh is job. So it varies from organization to organization. Some companies will have different values for 1 to 7. Here, I need to pick one from each value. And as in each value will correspond to, like if it's 101, it's CAFE. It's 102, it's Bathan, and 3 is healthcare. Similar to that, each item in region. Also, there will be a number of values, whether it's Europe, Canada, Australia, where it is. So we'll pick each one, and once you click on apply, it will add a primary labor account value to an employee. And this is the place where we map the time zone. So IMAD currently are in Newark and we are in Bangalore. So we work for the same company. My office is at Bangalore, yours is at Newark. So we need to swipe in and swipe out. How come the system understand what time I'm swiping in and out? So say we are both swiping in right now. But for me it will take 8 am as in punch. For you it will take 10:30 p.m. as in punch. Right. Because yours time zone is Eastern. So it depends for each employee based on what time zone he is in. So this is where we map the time zone. All the available time zones will be here. We just need to map it out. Okay. And this is where we need to map. Who is this employee's manager? Whom does he reports to in Kronos? Example, if he reports to this guy, we need to pick from that employee. Select that manager and save it out. That's it. So this is all about the primary account. And in the primary account, the next item we have is timekeeper. So this is the area where we map whatever we create in the pay policies. That is the payroll. So the ultimate aim of pay policy is to create a payroll by mapping all the sub-items available here. You see here. Ultimate aim of this is like a bottom-up approach. We go from bottom to top. We'll map these items to some place, these items to this, these items to this. And at the top, we have payrolls. We'll have a creative payroll and we'll map all these items, whatever we have created, to that. Where do we map the payroll to an employee? Is here under the timekeeper. In this payroll column, we need to map. That is about the timekeeper. And then we have, like a scheduler is not needed. Scheduler is not needed. Access profiles. Like this determines what kind of access you can have. Example, there are like two items you need to understand. One is function access profile and one is display access profile. Function access profile is basically what functionalities the employee can have access to. Like whether the employee can have access to administration. No, and the employee should be having access only to timecard functionality. Nothing apart from that. He needs to be able to see what time he has swiped in and out and the functionality to request time offs. That's it. But the managers, on the other hand, they should have access to the time cards, time off function, and also the facility to search the employees to approve their time card. So they need those more functionalities. So we will create different function access profile and display access profile based on that and we'll map it out. Okay, so creation. Everything happens again here. We have a separate model called access profile where we'll define what is a function access profile and what is a display profile. Display profile comes under display preferences. Okay, So here we will be creating these items, but the mapping is happening here. Okay. So the local policy and notification profile, these are not important because we can have even it can be. Mostly it's done for the people. And notification profile, it's not mandatory. Like we can. It's like by standard it will have maybe email only or email inbox. This is specifically will assign only to the managers. To know that if someone is raising a request to him, he'll be able to see it in the top of his time card. Here he'll have this place. There will be a notification icon where he can click on it so that it will show a notification if someone has submitted a vacation request. We'll show you, we'll take you through. When we log in as a manager, we'll be able to see it. Okay, so that's all about the access profile. These are the mandatory ones, but these will have a huge chunk of items. These are like a standalone items. This is specifically very minimal items, but these two are very big. If you see here itself, we can see that access profile have these many sub items, or display profile have these many sub modules to build it out. Yeah. So it will be vague for maybe first few days because you will just go through the intro items and you are new to the system. It will be quite clumsy for you to understand these items, but moving on after maybe first 10 sessions, you'll get like some grip onto it so that from then on you'll be able to catch up with me on what we are exactly doing. Even it took for me 2 to 3 months to understand what Kronos is. So with our session progressing, so that is the reason I'm not slightly jumping into setups. It will completely confuse you. Why we are doing this? What is the need for this? Like you'll be confused. So first let's see how it is mapped. Like where it is mapped, what it does. Then we'll go on, we'll have a requirement and we'll create it based on that. This is how normally they take a fresher and they train them into Kronos. This is how the knowledge transfer KT happens. They will first ask you to sit in the system and play around it. Then they will tell you, this is what, this is what. This is how you should navigate. Then very lately only, they will start with giving you access to create something in setup. So now let's go to the next item, which is employer. This is also an important one. Here we will have. What we will have is what access we can have. Like we will have in pay policies, we will create different pay codes and different work rules. So out of that, what pay codes like? Currently, we have given all pay codes, but we can also restrict. We can say, okay, only these pay codes you should have access. We can create a folder and give a name to it. And we can map it here so that only these 5 codes the employee will be able to access. Normally, for an employee, he should not be having access to all the pay codes. He should be having vacation, sick or floating holiday. Whatever the leaves he is going to take, only that. So we'll create a particular like that, okay, how early employees. We'll create under the name how early employees and we'll map it here. Okay. So you created from the option new like how do you pay policy. Yeah, we'll create the pay codes in the pay policy. And the pay code access profile is created under access profile. Okay. So this will cover it up. After pay policies and across, next item will be access profile and next to that will be display preferences. So here is where we will create the pay code access profile and go through access profile. What it's like a folder. All the pay codes will create in pay policies. Then after that we will go to this access profile and pay code access profile and this item. Once we click on this, we just need to create a folder. It's kind of folder kind of thing. If you click on new and say like probably a car something, and we'll need to select from the existing pay code what pay code we need to be. Who we are going to put in this particular folder. Okay. So now you will get to understand like why we are starting with the pay policies. So that is where like, because I cannot directly take you to access profile, because first I need to teach you what is pay code, what is work rule. Only then you will be able to understand when I go through access profile. Okay, this is pay code access right. So that's all about the person tabs. So we are clear with the personality data. Now let me take you through quickly into this particular time card and we'll wind up the session for today. So this is how the base time card will look like. You can select an employee, double click on him, it will take you to his time card. Or you can select an employee. Click on go to and click on time cards. It will again take you to the employee's time card. Or you can click on the employee and select timekeeping. So, yeah, the timekeeping will not take you to there, but this two option, double click or click on go to time card will take you to the time card. Similarly to people editor, you can select an employee, click on people editor and click on edit, or the easiest way for doing everything is click on employee, click on go to. And here, if you click on people, it will take you to people editor again. Now we are going to see the time cards. The time card. This is how an employee's time card would look like. Like what shift he is in. That's what we call disaster do. So currently we don't have anything mapped here. So he's from 8 am to 10 am shift. So for 8 am to 10 am shift when he has punched in. Okay, he's punched in at 8:05 am. When he has punched out, he has punched out at 6:05 pm. Okay, then what is his total hours for today? He has worked 9.5 hours. These items will be available here, okay? And also the exception, see the employee has no schedule. That means he's not assigned to any shift. If he's punching in for that day, it will show him as unscheduled. He's not scheduled to work, but he has worked on that. So this is basically how a time card looks like, and we have a few other items in the time card. So once you click here, you can see totals. First item. Totals is like it will give you the total hours. So for this guy with the payroll, he has been attached. He has worked 9.5 hours and the system is giving him 8 hours of regular and 1.5 hours of 41.5. So the manager or the administrator can go in and see for a single day or for multiple days or for a full pay period. Okay, so here and again, another item I missed to tell you. This particular calendar and date item. So here if you see, this time card is selected only for this week to date. You can change it up. We can select current pay period. So if he is a bi-weekly employee, it will give you current 2 weeks. Yeah, he's a bi-weekly employee and gives you 2 weeks of the time card schedule. Which is current pay period. It starts on day 20 and ends on even 6. If you click on previous pay period, it will take you to the previous pay period. So that time range, you can see what the employee has punched in. And if you want to select a specific date page, you can click on the calendar icon and select whatever the dates you want. You can select it for 1 year or 2 years. Whatever you want, you can do it. So clear on this item. And we have seen totals like this employee for this day. He has 8 hours and 1.5 hours of daily. This is showing for the whole current pay period. If you want to see only for one date, you can click on daily. Daily, and you need to click on the dates. So if you see 10/23, there is no date, but 24. It will show you the data for only that date. Okay, so that's about the totals. And next we have the accrual projections. This is the area which will show you how much accruals he is eligible for. Like this, employee has only two type of accruals, vacation and sick. And how many hours he currently has is available under available balance. He has 80 hours of vacation and 2 to 40 hours of vacation and 80 hours of sick. So as soon as he takes a leave, there is a separate process where the employee would be raising a time of request and manager would be approving it. Or the manager will be directly going here and putting the pay codes for the employee and vouchering the vacation. Vacation 8 hours. You need to put the pay code and also enter the amount. This is how we like. Rather than punching in, we can use this also to complete it in. Because if an employee is absent, he is not going to punch in or punch out. He'll just voucher vacation and number of hours to it. Right. Only if an employee is working, he will be putting punches. Yeah, so the 8 hours means like his one full shift. It depends again. I have assumed this is an 8 hours employee because just an assumption. Because first 8 hours he's getting like if you see the, because 1.5 is like overtime. So I assume it's going to be like 8 hours, but the managers will know what he's in for, right? Whether he's 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours employee. So based on that, vacation hours also will be different. And now if you see, we have vouchered 8 hours. So if you go to 10/5, the vacation will switch from 240 to 322. That means it's debited. 8 hours are debited. So it will show you the current balance, what it is. In 2010, before he got 8.240, and if you click on 10/5, it will show you the exact same value, what he has on that. Right? Yeah, so this is more about the time card. And if a manager wants to review an employee's time card and then approve it, he can click on the he can go. He can search the employee, go to his time card. And from here also, we have the option to approve the time card as well as sign up the time card. This particular option of approval is for bulk approvals. They can select all. In a single shot, they can go ahead and approve it. This is to review the time card. So there are some departments will have some issues with the timings, their clocking in and clocking out. So if the manager wishes to review each one, he can come here, review and then approve the time card. Clear. Right. Here we are more concerned about accrues and totals. Audits is nothing but whatever the changes we have done here that will be audited here. See here we have added. First, what we did is we added one punch here and one out punch here, then an application with 8 hours. Everything is captured here. I have added a punch on 8 am 5:30 pm for this date. Then again for 25. I have added a pay code, vacation with 8 hours. When I have done this, everything is done on today 10.27. And what time? 8:34 pm of my time. Who has done it? My username, which I have logged in SuperUser. And the data source. This is to determine whether the punches came directly from the clocks or devices or we have done it manually. So these punches I have entered it manually, so it states time card editor. But if the punches directly comes from the swipe in or swipe out, it will show us a server or some IP address will be there so that it comes from this particular clock or this particular machine. Yeah, that's all for like all the details what you have with the time card and the people editor. We have covered it up. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.